So one thing my wife does that drives me nuts is she says maddening things. For example, one time she hit the garage with a car, and she came to me to report it, and she's like, well, I have good news and I have bad news. The bad news is I hit the garage, so there's some damage to the garage and some damage to the car. But the good news is everybody's safe, nobody was hurt. And I was like, well, yeah, no kidding. Like, you were in the driveway, you weren't in a police chase.
First, I want to thank whoever's in charge of making this video. He always gets to tell the stories and I never get to.
I've noticed one thing in marriage that can bother you if you let it is societal differences. In the society I grew up in, dirty clothes went in a hamper, and then when the hamper filled up, they went into a washing machine, and then once they were clean, we would put them away in a drawer. In my wife's society that she grew up in, which was only about 15 or 20 minutes away from where I grew up, they had a dirty clothes pile. And when the dirty clothes pile got so big that they couldn't climb over it anymore, it would go into the washing machine. Then once those clothes were clean, they would go in what she calls a clean clothes pile, which closely resembles the dirty clothes pile, but she knows the difference somehow.
So my wife will tell me that we need to discuss something. But what happens is we'll go and we'll meet in a quiet room, and there's never much of a discussion. It's more of her plan of how we're going to do things and how I need to carry that plan out. It's possible she doesn't know what the word discussion means.
I had so many pillows, different shapes, different colors, but they had to line up just so. So at the evening, it was time to go to bed. Instead of checking to see if the door was locked or if the kids were safe in bed, I had to check the pillows.
My husband cannot remember birthdays. One day he was at a baseball game and the guy beside him was like, how old is William? And he was like, I don't know. And the guy was like, well, he's gotta be 10 or 11. When was his birthday? John was like, I don't know. Well, what season was he born in? I don't know. Never mind the fact that he was born during a snowstorm. The guy's like, do you mind if I tell my wife this? Because this is hilarious.
One time I made this really delicious chili, and that night then went to bed. I dreamt about it all night, about how it was going to be amazing to eat the next day. The next morning I come downstairs, I can't find the chili anywhere. So I call her at work, because it seems like it's an emergency to me. And she says she had to throw the chili away because bacteria and some sham of an excuse like that. I still miss that chili. So most of the things that I enjoy doing with my family are things that I've been told to enjoy.
One thing we do for fun as a family is make games out of things that aren't really games. The one year, one of the boys got these little magnet men for Christmas, and so we turned it into who could stick it to the metal front door and get it closest to the peephole. Closest one to the peephole gets 2 points, the next closest person gets 1 point, and so on. We played to 15 or whoever started crying first.
So we have really enjoyed playing bocce ball together, but the last time we went this summer, one of those ice cream novelty trucks went by, and my wife Nicole suggested, hey, we should get the girls treats. And I was like, sure. So they came back with them, and they looked cute and they seemed to be delicious. And so I said to Nicole, I said, how much did that cost? She said $16. And I said, I don't like bocce anymore.
My husband and I taught a couples class. We were trying to think of ways that we could have some good family time. So we rented an elementary school gym, divided it in half. One side the kids would play, and the other side the adults would play volleyball. And soon, our 8-year-old, she would sneak in and be part of the volleyball as well. So volleyball has always been an intricate part of our lives, including her going to college and playing there.
We like to print off a whole bunch of different coloring pages, and then we have a strict time limit to color them. And then we just randomly choose a family member or somebody from church, and we FaceTime them. Then we force them to pick a first place, a second place, and a third place. Then there's usually some celebrating involved, and sometimes a few tears. I guess that's a little bit like marriage. Different stories to the page, time flying by, celebrating, sometimes a few tears. But hopefully in the end, there's a whole lot of memories and a bunch of happiness.